Hey guys. So, sorry I haven't posted in a while. I was getting some terrible, debilitating migraines, and that lasted like over 2 weeks straight. Uh, Past week has been okay, but I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, which I'm kind of relieved about because I've just been feeling like crap, especially lately, like this whole year. And um, So I'm going to be getting a CPAP machine here, and I'm hoping that'll stop my migraines. But I haven't had one in 2 or 3 days, and what sucks is um, either sitting down to work or staring at screens often triggered these headaches. So I sort of, just decided not to be banging my head trying to learn programming while staring at a screen while I was having these migraines. So that being said, um, I'm gonna try to post every freaking day. I'm kind of like, I'm not like committing to definitely posting every day, but I'm gonna do my freaking best to do it because um, I think that's just the best way to do it. Just chip away at it, even if it's just a 15-minute session. Just to not miss 2 days in a row is gonna be the way forward. Health and headache permitting. So all that being said, I'm gonna I haven't looked at this code in 2 or 3 weeks, so I believe we left off where the we were trying to do the detection for platforms and the is grounded check, which it's looking like, oh well, okay, yep, okay. Okay, I'm remembering. Oh god, that's so fucked up. And then he doesn't fall. Okay. So at least the good news is it is detecting the collision, the bottom collision, and it is setting its ground to that bottom collision. But if you walk off, it doesn't. It doesn't realize it. But if you're jumping, you can fall, and it recognizes the bottom. So that's half good. It's just that if you try to jump, yeah, I don't know why that would be so messed up. But for whatever reason, it says player one's still grounded right now. So we've got to figure that out. I'm kind of thinking, oh, this is going to be a little tricky to sift through, especially after 2 weeks of not looking at this, but maybe I've got some fresh eyes. Oh, Jesus. Where do we even start? I think we need to just look at our grounded logic, because for whatever reason, when we jump, it's saying we're not grounded. Or whenever we jump, it still says we're grounded, but only on the bottom platform, which is weird. So I'm not sure what to do. I think we need to just find, this is self-grounded. So it could be messing up there. Part of me thinks we should just turn off this check grounded, like don't do this check grounded, and see if we're back to just workable logic, but not even seeing where we oh, here. So it's going to be this check grounded function, right? And we do it right here. No? No. Where is the check grounded? This off fixes player height bug. So it looks like, is there any other check grounded? We print it out. We have it there. So yeah, I'm not even using this. Let me just turn this on and we'll see what this player height bug is that we commented. Oh, yeah. Well, so these top check grounded, bottom check grounded are never turning to true. Which makes sense because look at this logic. I'm saying, oh, well, no, if this evaluates to true, which we plug in a platform. See, we don't need a, this is all wrong. Holy shit, this is getting complicated to look at, man. It's like I wrote all this code and it's confusing. Like, so my reasoning for this all being wrong is that, first of all, I'm only checking the platform. I'm not checking all collidable platforms. Well, no, I am right here. Saying for platform in pairs of collidable platforms. And then take said platform. Which this, I'm pretty sure this parameter is just a way of saying every value in this table. Like this is the index for the value, this is the value of this table. So yeah, this is the whole, this right here, this whole block is the that whole block is kind of the cycle through platforms. So for whatever reason, turning that line off still leaves us with the bug that if we jump when we're standing, we just freaking fly because our grounded is getting set to is like, watch, right when I tap jump, it's false, but then it goes right back to true. So we need to see why self.grounded is getting overwrote to true, which I'm just going to turn that off and let me see if that might be it. Now we're never getting true. So yeah, if we collide with, if our ostrich's bottom collides with any platform, we're setting its y to the platform's y shifted by the ostrich's height. And this is changing the height so that it's standing height and not flying height. Otherwise it'd be 16, right? Something like that. Setting its dy to 0, setting its grounded to true. So why, let me search for self-grounded gets true at another spot that isn't commented out. Right here. So I'm saying if the y is equal to the collidable platform's y minus 24, so this is saying if my ostrich is y, see, you know what, this isn't right. Well, no, yeah, that could be right. So this is our check grounded function, and it takes in a parameter of collidable platforms. And if our y is equal to that collidable platform's y shifted by the height of the ostrich, then we're going to see if our ostrich's x is at the same position of the collidable platform, or like, you know, directly on top of it. Well, hold on, let me think. So this is checking the y, and then it's checking the x, and it's saying if our ostrich's x is smaller than the right side of the collidable platform, then we're going to be grounded. Yeah, see, part of me thinks I probably do need this because grounded is never getting set to false. Well, no, it's hard to say because the grounded getting set to false shouldn't be in this check grounded function. Basically, the only time you can become ungrounded is if you jump or if you walk off a platform. So we need to say, you know, otherwise return false. So I guess we need to say, we need to set this self-grounded to false if this check grounded is false. Which we're not doing. So maybe here in our bottom collides, else, you know, if it's not bottom collides, wait. See, no, this is tricky too because the bottom collides will only get called on the frame that it is colliding, because then we reset its y and take away its gravity. And I believe we're only applying gravity if we're not grounded. Excuse me, not grounded. So where do we put self-grounded gets false? Which we have it right here. We're saying if you collide with a platform, then you're grounded. Or no. If you know, run the check grounded holy shit. The check grounded function gets ran on the ostrich, getting passed in every single platform. And if you are grounded, or if check grounded is true, then set your grounded to true. And if check grounded is not true, set your grounded to false. So one thing I'm thinking is that this loop here is screwing me, because let's say, for example, our collidable platforms table has in order a platform and then the ground, and let's say we're like landing on the top platform. It's going to cycle through, run through in order. So it's going to start with that top platform, and it's going to say, hey, the ostrich bottom collides with this platform, so set your grounded to true. But then it's going to continue on every frame. It's going to continue until, it's going to go through the next one, and now it's going to run through the ground platform, and then now it's going to say, oh, hey, you're colliding with or you're not colliding with the ground platform. Therefore, set it to false. So that's why this is getting busted, is because it's cycling through every platform, regardless of, if we're cycling through platforms and check grounded ever gets returned to true, we should exit this loop, because we don't need to check if we're collided with we don't need to check if we're grounded on another platform if we've already confirmed we're grounded on any platform. It should only take, one, because we don't want it looping through and checking that ground platform, because it'll come back false, and then the grounded getting false is going to overwrite our correct grounded true, which I think is why it was never getting grounded, and it was just getting messed up when I turned this on. But that doesn't help me fix. The problem at hand. How do we do this? Part of me thinks I need to comment out this whole iteration through the collidable platforms, make the code for just the ground, plug in just ground platform instead of any platform here, and then troubleshoot that. And then once we get that working properly, we can replace all of those with the other platform, with this platform 1 or whatever it was called. Troubleshoot that. Then if that's working right, then we can come back to the iteration and figure out how to stop iterating if check grounded is ever true. Because if we ever get check grounded on this right here, we need to say, if check grounded is true, then stop cycling through these platforms. I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but every time I try to do a while loop in the update function of the video game, it would crash, which makes sense because it's asking the same question over and over and over every single frame, but it gets stuck on one frame and it's waiting for the answer. So I think that's why it was so screwed up, with the main loop at least. So for now, I think the way to do it for now is, like I said, to hard code, like let's just do the ground platform, and then we'll see if we can fix our grounded being set to false when we jump instead of just floating up. Kind of curious in our, so look, we have ground platform and platform 1. So I was going to say, I'm curious if our jump logic, yeah, our jump logic sets our grounded to false. But then that shouldn't get set to true until check grounded gets true. Okay. So I'm gonna redo some of this code here, or, reuse some of this code. So I'm saying if self collides with ground platform, set your height to 24, set your y to the ground platform offset by your height, take away your gravity, and you're grounded now. So here's the thing. I think right now, we had this where if our ostrich bottom collides was set to true, then we're setting our grounded to true. But then we were saying, by the way, if check grounded, set your grounded to true. So I don't know what we should do there. Like that, we shouldn't need to do it twice there. So maybe we, yeah, I feel like if we're grounded, if we become grounded by a bottom collision, that won't become false until we jump. So we don't need to set our self-grounded to true if we're check grounded, because check grounded only returns true if our y is set, our ostrich's y is sitting on top of a platform. If we're colliding, it won't be check grounded. It's only check grounded if the bottom collision is detected, then we reset our y, and then that'll say, okay, you're grounded. Like that's what the check grounded function does. Because, and we need that because there comes a time where if you're an ostrich and you're walking on a platform, you can walk off that platform, and then we need to start applying gravity once you're off that platform. So that's why the check grounded is there. Like as soon as you walk off, if you're walking off the platform, here's the end of the platform, the check grounded is going to be false because there's not a collidable platform right beneath it. Then at that point, it's going to say, okay, well, you're not grounded anymore. Since you're not grounded, apply gravity. So I think this is part of the problem is we're doing this self-grounded gets true twice when we really need to set. I think that's the right move, is to set grounded upon this bottom collision, and then we already reset its y position. Then we need to say I won't do this check round just yet because we can't walk off the ground platform, and we're only doing the ground platform right now. But I will try to do the other ones just to make sure there's no hidden bugs or whatever. So and then self.y gets the bottom of the ground platform it collided with, and then give your dy a positive 0.8, which should bounce you downwards. Okay. Then we need the left collide. So yeah, guys, I'm going to try to post. I'm going to do my damnedest to post every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. I don't want to miss. You know, I mean, I had medical. I couldn't work. I did 2 hours of work in the span of 2.5 weeks. Like, that's all I could literally manage. But I'm hoping the CPAP is gonna give me oxygen at night, so my O2 levels aren't at 80 when I'm sleeping. And hopefully I'll not only feel refreshed, but hopefully I don't need to grind my teeth at night because I'll be getting enough oxygen, which should hopefully ease the stress on my jaw, stop my migraines. I'm hoping. Sorry for all that rambling, or what do you call it, venting. But yeah, I picked up, you know, my daily drawing again, which has been going strong for over a month now, but I think I need to focus on programming because there's times where, you know, it's 6 p.m. and I haven't drawn yet, and then it can take me an hour or two just to get an idea to draw. And that whole time I'm not practicing drawing, which was like the whole idea of that challenge, but it was you know, a lot of ideation time, at least with programming. I mean, here I am talking and not programming, but at least with programming, if I sit down for an hour programming, I'll get an hour of thoughtful programming done rather than potential ideas for a sketch, which, you know, I love my art and I am going to continue it. It's just that I need to be focusing on programming. I really do. And I can do art, you know, when I get the ideas, or if I've done my programming for the day, I can sit and try to generate ideas. But the pressure, I just put pressure on myself to freaking do it every day, and then it stresses me out. Which, the programming, even though it is every day, and I'm trying to do it every day, I'm not setting a minimum time limit, or yeah, like I'm basically just committing to doing any amount of programming, and even if that's just looking and trying to, you know, reading through my code, trying to understand it better, like that counts, you know. So I'm not trying to murder myself with these expectations, but I really do need to focus on this. We've got left collides, we need right collides. So I guess the question is, now that I've stopped, now that I have not, what am I trying to say? Now that I'm not cycling through all these platforms, I'm checking the hard-coded ground platform. Now we can Sorry, I was just thinking. Now that, like I'm trying to fix that problem of why do I just keep floating when I press jump. So instead of doing this check grounded just yet, and instead of doing this if self check grounded, self grounded is true, it's going to be if not self grounded, if not self check grounded, self grounded is false. We don't need to do the self grounded because we do that on the bottom collides function. So we can only become grounded if we collide with the bottom of a platform, which I believe is the only case to become grounded. So let's see if we fly upon jumping. We do. So our, oh no, the top collision isn't there. So we need top collision. Oh, no, yeah, we took it out. Okay. So we need to figure out why our grounded is never getting false. So what is, I mean, that's why we have our check grounded function, really. So maybe we say exactly what I just said. If not self check grounded, grounded gets false. So we're saying if not self check grounded, ground platform. If not, that self grounded gets false. And I believe we are printing out self-grounded. Player one dot grounded at least, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that does fix our floating problem. And then everything else should be working properly still. Except, the platform collision, because I took that off. Okay. So right now we're spawning in. Ooh, that's a bug there. When I reset my dy should be set to whatever it's initialized with upon. So an ostrich, what is my dy? It's just 0. So upon pressing R, we need to set our dy to 0 as well. Okay. So that's good. Let's continue with our plan to now check platform 1. See if that's working appropriately, then we can worry about cycling through and making sure we stop cycling through if ground check is ever detected. See, this is trash. It's like, this is such trash because I have to type it in not only on all those parameters, but also here, which I probably should have just copied and pasted all of this and then toggled, because if I want to switch back, if I want to switch back, I'm gonna have to do the same shit just with ground platform again, which is going to be the same pain in the butt that it is right now. This feels awful to me, and I'm a bad person for doing this. I'm still learning. So we should not, we should go right through the ground there, but we should bounce off this. Yeah. we still got that. Oh, okay. So look at that. We're grounded and it's working. Let's see if we walk off. Because check grounded should get false and we should fall. Just fell through the lava. Dude, it freaking worked. That's exactly what we want to happen. Yeah, we walk off and we fall. Now, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. Oh, God. This is exactly what I was talking about in another episode where, like, if we're walking super slow, like, what? Look at his feet. So since all the logic is like this, all the logic is based on a rectangle, and you can see that the ostrich's tail is still technically above the platform. That's why he's not falling here. But part of me thinks, I mean, you know, clearly we don't want this to be in the game where we can walk off a platform like this and have it not detect it, because we need to take one more step to fall off. Oh yeah, even there. So yeah, we should definitely be falling off at this point. So I guess the question is, if we change it so that check grounded gives a little bit of leeway, you know, a little bit of that buffer where it checks whether its feet are grounded, not whether the width of the rectangle of the ostrich is grounded. Because if we replace the sprite with just the rectangle that it is, you would see that the square is still barely sitting on the right side of that platform there. But if we change check grounded to be, to give it a little more leeway, here's the problem. Like if we say, hey, if your Y is a little bit touching this, then you're not grounded. Then at that point, if we're stopped like this or whatever, you know, check grounded will get false. Grounded will get false. Gravity will apply. And then our left collision will detect because our left side is touching the left side. So maybe I almost feel like if the check grounded is false, we need to set its X position to be, you know, flush with the platform it just fell off of. So if a scenario like this happens, as soon as this left foot is off, it should say, okay, we're not grounded. So, yeah, our check grounded is false, therefore set grounded to false. And since check grounded is false, set ostrich's X to move ostrich's X so that it doesn't collide. Does that make any sense? Yeah, set ostrich's X to be flush with the side of the platform it just fell off at, which, depending on which side, is a different equation, because this is going to be, hey, set player ostrich's X to platform 1's X plus platform's 1's width. But over here, it would be set ostrich's X to platform X minus ostrich width. So how do we determine, or how do we say, because yeah, if we just hard code in, hey, make it flush with the right side, then once we fall off on this side, it would teleport us over to the right, which is not what we want. So it's almost like we need to check which side it falls off. And if it falls off on the right side, set its X position to be flush with the right side. If it falls off on the left side, set its X position to be flush with the left side, which is slightly different logic. But so I guess once wherever we do our check grounded, if not check grounded platform 1, If it's not check grounded, then we need to check, okay, is its x bigger than the platform's x? If it is, that's a right side fall off, therefore set it flush to the right. If its x is smaller than platform's x, that means it's a fall off on left side, therefore set its x to be flush with the left side. But yeah, we do, we clearly need to fix this. But this is exactly what I thought would happen, because this isn't really an ostrich, it's really a rectangle. And its feet are where it stands, but the rectangle is still technically on that platform there. But that's great news that this is working. Like, we're able to walk off. We're able to walk off depending on if check grounded is true or not, which is huge. So I think that next step is to do exactly that. We're under our, gosh, that looks great, doesn't it? That looks great. I don't think it'll be too much of a distraction to shift the ostrich's X if it falls off the side. I don't think it'll be too much. I'm kind of curious how the original does that. Like, can we have 1 foot off the platform, or does it oopsies, oh no, oh no, mother, okay, oh my god, I suck. Jesus hell, okay, I suck. Okay, go left, please. Oh no. Wow, it's taken me 3 deaths, 4 deaths, and I still haven't been able to walk off. Holy sh! Yeah, I won't, but I should edit that out of the stream because that's embarrassing. Just land. Okay. So look, can we look at that? See, 1 leg's off? Ooh, did you see that? Look at that. You go right through it. So it does really have that buffer. Did I beat all the ostriches on that level with, like, on accident? Okay. So yeah, you can get 1 leg off, but the second your second leg would fall off. Oh my god. You son of a... Oh my god. You can get 1 leg off, but as soon as that second leg would fall off. So it's really just since these platforms aren't rectangles like mine currently is, it might look weird when I implement how this game does it, which is give it a little bit of that buffer so that only 1 foot can be off. But then you saw it drew the platform, the render layer. What do you call that? The render order is that it draws the ostrich and draws the platform over it. So the ostrich kind of goes behind that platform. So I guess let's try to do what I just said, which was, if we're not check grounded, then if our we need to say detects right fall off or something, and then detect a right fall off, and then we need to detect a left fall off. And well, you know what, I don't think we need to do this because we just tested the original and it didn't reset its X. It just made, under our check grounded, we need to say, hey, we're not doing like exactly check grounded, we're doing the platform minus. So see, here's the other thing is if we give the platform, if we run the check grounded function on our ostrich and the check grounded is doing some sort of buffer, I don't know what else to call it. Like it's not checking collision, it's not, well, and this doesn't check collision, this just detects whether or not there's a platform directly beneath it or not. What I'm trying to say is if we do the code for the buffer where it'll say, oh, well, you're actually not grounded right here. What I'm trying to say is on the top platform, that makes sense. But on the bottom platform, if we give that buffer zone, then it might trigger a check grounded being false when I'm on the ground, which we do need at some point. But the game starts off with the ground fully extended, and you can run, from left to right or whatever. But as the levels increase, the platform gets smaller. Let's just try to do the platform 1 right now. And then we'll worry about, because remember we were having those problems when we were going off screen, it would jump, and it had to do with the ground detection, because it was swapping, the player's X was swapping. So for whatever, whatever. We'll figure it out one thing at a time. Let's just we gotta modify our check grounded so that it adds that buffer. So we're saying right here, if our y is, so this is if we were just collided we were just bottom collided, because if we're bottom collided, we set our y to this collidable platform's y minus 24, which is our standing height above the platform. Then we say, so yeah, we need to fix it in our x logic here, which is if our x is smaller than the right side of the platform, and this is where we need to give us that little buffer. We need to say if x is smaller than not the rightmost side of the platform, but the rightmost side of the platform. Well, let me see. This is saying if our ostrich's x is smaller than the collidable's platform's x plus its width, so the right side of the collidable platform, if our x is smaller than that, but we need to say if our x is smaller than that shifted by a couple pixels. So yeah, I think we do need to shift this. And if how wide is our ostrich? Because we need to figure out what that buffer is for our feet. Our width is right here, the third argument. So right here under player 1, the third argument, we're 16 wide. So if we're 16 wide, half, it would probably be about half, because we want 1 foot to be able to be off, but not 2 feet. So it might be half, it might be a little more than half, I don't know. But we'll do that right here. We'll just do half for now. So we can say, I don't like to do the magic number in here, because this is really player width divided by 2, but we're also just trying to find that buffer. So then we're saying, and our right side of the ostrich Yeah, our ostrich is the current rightmost side of our ostrich is greater than the collidable platform X, then return true. But we need to see if it's greater than that plus 8. Is that right? Let's see if, and we don't, just like how the original didn't move the ostrich once falling off, it just made it fall. So this, I should be able to get 1 foot off. Oh no. So 8 might be too much. Maybe we do a 4 pixel buffer instead of 8. Because it kind of did it right away there. Which, you know, it looked responsive, but it wasn't quite. Holy shit. You know what? I think, so look, 1 foot off, yeah. And then this by the second, see, that should be off already, probably. Well, you know, that was really close. So maybe we just need a little bit more. Because 8 was too sensitive. 4 wasn't sensitive enough. I want it to be, you know, 1 foot off, but by the very second, oh, you know, is that too sensitive or no? I don't think it is, because look, that's grounded. That probably should be grounded. Ooh. That shouldn't be grounded, because if we're turned that way, you know, that should be, that shouldn't be allowed in the game. So maybe we do need something more sensitive. I was just thinking, our top colliding, instead of giving us that hard-coded 0.8, we should just get the absolute value of our current dy. Okay. Oh, let me see if that turned around part is looking better. Oh no. That's looking pretty good. There. So yeah, that should probably be grounded because my foot looks planted. But if I go any further, oh. It's like, the question is, should this be check grounded false? Because if I turn, it looks like I'm not standing on the platform. Ooh, yeah. See, and we need to do, it's almost like we need to do our, yeah, we need to also give our left collision that same buffer. Because when we add the art for the curved platform like that, it doesn't collide. If the platform's curved like this, it doesn't collide with this point. It collides with this point. So it goes behind the platform at some point and collides right here, and then we'll bounce the other way. So part of me thinks, even though that 6 is really close, I don't like the fact that I can basically be off like this. I don't like that, because that doesn't look like I'm grounded. That looks like I should be falling. So let's give us that 1 more pixel of sensitivity, and we'll have to do our left and right collides by that same buffer, because that'll fix our like you saw when I fell and I was turned, it went to falling. So I was like, in my falling animation. And then it detected it shifted me up, which I'm actually not sure why it shifted me up. Because the left collide function, the side collide functions don't mess with our y at all. Just reflects our dx or whatever. Let's see if that 7 is appropriate. Sensitivity. Okay, that's looking actually pretty good. See, look at that. See how he like kind of did it twice? Okay, so yeah, that should be barely standing. Okay, see, look at that. See how that twice collides? But is that on our... Okay. Like that. So if our... It's detecting a bottom collision, so it sets our y to be our ostrich's height y, but it's not changing my ostrich's height because we're not grounded. But if it detects a bottom collision, aren't we grounded? Bottom collision. If we collide, then we're grounded. Let me see if self-grounded gets true when I do that little bug there. Right here. It doesn't. But the bottom collision, hold on, let me see. We'll see if bottom collision returns true. God, okay. That was not it. Motherfucker, okay. Yeah, bottom collides didn't get true there. Did you see that? Yeah. Huh. Because here's the problem. Here's bottom collides. It's not getting true. Bottom collides is not getting true, and grounded isn't getting true. So why is it changing our y? Why are we in that loop? I would think because the only thing that changes our y position would be that bottom collide. Oh, you know what? Maybe this bottom collide. Let me see where I'm printing this out. Bottom collide. Yeah, that's only ground platform. We want it to be platform 1. Let's see if it does detect, if it is detecting that. Yeah. But does it... It doesn't set us... That's what's kind of weird is it doesn't set us to... It doesn't set us... It does detect the bottom collision, but it's not setting us to grounded. Which, if it detects the bottom collision, it should set us to grounded. So something's going on. Oh, you know what? It's because of that buffer we just put in there. Isn't it? Is it not? That buffer we put it in we put that buffer in our check grounded, right? Oh my God, where am I looking? Wasn't it in the check grounded function? Yeah. So we put that buffer. So yeah, I guess, well, see, look at this. We're setting our, okay, I'm a little confused. I don't think we should be setting our grounded to true here. We need it. We're setting our grounded on bottom collision. Bottom collide. Not here though. It's not in the function, it's in the, right here. If bottom collides, we're getting our grounded to true. Let me see if taking, that's weird that, let me just see. Yeah, so is it because of that? Is it because of that buffer zone it's doing that? Let me see. So 7 was our magic number. Let's see if this fixes our weird buffer issue. Or what do you call that? Yeah. Yeah, because right here it's saying, okay, come on. It's like I'm trying to get my DX to be as slow as possible so I can see the collision a couple times. So, oh my God, it's so slow, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it's set grounded to true right away without that buffer. But, ooh, that shouldn't change it. Like, even though we got the buffer here in our check grounded function, we're only setting our Y position upon bottom collision. So I don't get why, because our bottom collision doesn't have though that buffer. So what I'm saying is, like, when the bottom collide gets true, our freaking self-grounded should get true. Like, it shouldn't have to do with that buffer. See, like, bottom collision was getting set to true there, but our grounded wasn't being set to true. And how do we fix this? For some reason, we're not getting self-grounded gets true. Well, so here's the thing. Okay, I think I know it. No. Okay, no, I do. It's hard to say if, because it happens. No. Okay, sorry. So here's the deal. If we're barely colliding with that platform, and we were, like, why were we doing that, right? Where we going up? It was because we're detecting a bottom collision. So we're setting our height to 24. Then we're setting our Y to our standing height, which is correct because we're going to be grounded. But then we run check grounded. And at that point, since we have the buffer, it's not grounded until it passes that buffer. So what's happening is if we're not past that buffer, we're getting our grounded switched back to false. So it's overriding that grounded true, even though our self height becomes the standing height. So the problem there is like, I think we need to change our height somewhere else. Well, because the bottom collide function and the check grounded function are slightly different. I mean, that's the problem is we detect a bottom collision, so we're grounded, but then it runs check grounded, and since it's that buffer, it's saying, hey, you're not grounded quite yet because we need that buffer. So if you're not past that buffer, you're not grounded. And if you're not grounded, you need to keep falling. So that's why it changes its Y to be the standing height, but it's still in its airborne animation because we're not grounded yet, because our X isn't past that buffer. That's why when we took out that buffer, it fixed that problem. I'm just not sure how to fix that problem and have that buffer still, because we're trying to fall. If we're trying to fall if we're right in that buffer. But conversely, if we're landing and we're just in that buffer, it's detecting a bottom collision. So it's like, oh, we should be grounded right now. But we're not grounded just yet. So I think we need to have our bottom collision function. Under our bottom collides function, we need to build in our 7 buffer so that it matches. So we're not getting those contradicting, So nothing to do with the Y's, but if our X is smaller than the right side minus our 7 buffer, and our left side is, or our right side is greater than the left side of the collidable minus that 7 buffer, then that bottom collides is true. So now we shouldn't fall. We shouldn't be perpetually falling there. We should just fall right through the platform if we're within that buffer. Oh my God. See, that's not right at all. Maybe I did the See, we should just keep falling. We should keep falling as if the platform isn't even there yet. We shouldn't be changing our Y position. Yeah, we shouldn't be changing our Y position. We should just be falling through it. Let me see. If the left side of the ostrich is smaller than the right side of our collidable, if it's smaller than the rightmost side minus our 7, isn't that right? Yeah. Minus 7. And then if our ostrich is, Rookie mistake there. Let's just check it though. If our right side of the ostrich is greater than the leftmost side of our collidable plus that 7 pixel buffer. Okay, so yeah, if I would have tested what I just did on the right, on the right side of the platform, it may have worked, but since I had that minus, it wasn't working on the left side here. So let's say we should just fall through the platform. We shouldn't do that perpetual falling bit. Here we go. You just fall right through. Shit, hold on. Needs to detect a bottom collision, not a right collision. Motherfucker. I mean, it looks like it fixed the problem, right? But let me see. It's detecting that right collision before the left collision. Or the bottom collision. Oh, you know what? I mean, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense because we need to also build in that buffer for the right and left collision, because it's, instead of just falling through, it bypasses the bottom collision, but then instantly the right collision is detected, so it bounces it, and that's why the sound's playing. So under our buffer, and we need to, you know, instead of this 7, we need to just do it right. Give us this, give us a constant called buffer of 7 pixels. And every time we've been using that magic number 7, we need to be using buffer. Now, we've got our check grounded buffer, we've got our bottom collides buffer, we need our left collide buffer, our right collide buffer, and part of me still wants to do the, if the top collides, instead of 0.8, I think I want the absolute value of our current dy. Because if we lightly bounce, we don't want to bounce hard like a 0.8. And if we bounce, or if we're going super fast, we'd want to bounce with more velocity. So I feel like see how that barely bounces? But then if we, yeah, bounces really fast. If we, I think that's better. Because yeah, we don't want to bounce like crazy if we're just hovering. Okay, so let us build in our platform, or build in the buffer on our left and right collides functions here. If our right side of the ostrich is greater than the left side of the collidable, it's greater than that minus the buffer. Is that right? No. Because this is right collides. So we're saying if our ostrich's rightmost side is bigger than the collidable's x, yeah, plus its buffer positively, and the rightmost side of our ostrich. Hold on a second. So this first line is checking if our x's are even in the same spot as the collidable. and we're saying if the right side of our ostrich is bigger than the left side of the collidable plus its buffer, and the right I guess I'm just confused why. Okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, I was getting thrown off because we have the self x plus its width for both of these conditions, but that is right because we're checking only the right side of the ostrich. So we're also saying if the rightmost side of our ostrich is smaller than the rightmost side of the collidable. So that's a little, that isn't perfect because it's like we're not going to collide on the right side halfway through the, you know, all this second condition is doing is making sure that if our x velocity is so great that in the frame that we're detecting our right collides, if it's, you know what? Shoot. Part of me thinks we don't even need that shit. We don't even need that second condition. Because we just need to see if our x is, well, no, we do need a left side limit. That's fine. Let's keep it like that. We don't need to do the buffer for the other side because that's not going to happen. We're not going to have our dx that fast where that even matters. But we do need our buffer on our left collidable. So we're saying if our ostrich's leftmost side is smaller than the rightmost side of our collidable minus that buffer, and we're greater than the leftmost side of our collidable, which we're not going to be, you know, we just need to check that left. Part of me thinks we don't even need that shit though. I don't know. I'll toggle that off, see if that is necessary. But so now that our right and left collides has that buffer built in, we shouldn't be doing that perpetual falling shit. We should just fall through the platform, and the platform should go above us just a tiny bit. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see that? See how we fell through the platform there? See, look at that. That's like way too much. It looks like too much, but it isn't too much. I think it only looks too much because we have the rectangle. If we had the tapering of the platform like the original does, I think that'll look a lot more pleasing to the eye. Because see how, like, we can get, you know, our ostrich is neck deep before the collision is detected, the side collision. Look at this, yeah. And let's see if that, you know, fixes our... Yeah. So yeah, and then we should just get grounded, yeah. It's hard because, see, that looks good. The falling off looks good, like accurate, but the right collision is not looking too good. Maybe let's just do, on our side collisions, let's half our buffer. We run into the issue, doing this will trigger a side collision if we're halfway in that buffer. But that gives us a little room to fall, but it also makes it less unbelievable for the side collisions. Does that make any sense? See, so like that looked okay. See, that's what we're trying to avoid, is that right collision in that buffer zone. Because we shouldn't be, that shouldn't be a right collision. That should be, shit. That does look better though, you know, we're not going as deep in before we trigger that collision. I guess I'm curious about the original, like if in the original can we in the original I want to see if we bounce, you know, if that right collision's detected. Motherfucker. Okay. You. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is hard. Okay. We're... Okay. Here. Trying to see if that right collision... Yeah, these... Oh my god. Gosh, it looks so smooth in this one. It's really impressive. Yeah, see, we're about neck deep before we bounce back. But does that mean our buffer zone? Oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, see, we do bounce. Okay, well. Oh lordy. Damn, that guy's tough. That guy just flew. You saw that he flew through the bottom platform. Okay, let me see. Yeah, see, I mean, gosh, it's really smooth on this one. I really. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You son of a... Oh, did I just kill him? Did I just kill the pterodactyl? Did I just kill the pterodactyl? With my ass? Okay. Gosh, yeah, okay. See, I'm having a hard time replicating my problem on this. Wow, yeah. On this, oh no. Wow. Did you see that? I like bounced back at an angle. Wow. It's almost like did you see that? Did you see that? You saw that bouncing like skipping, right? What the heck? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Like there's like a skip state? You get the, I was able to recreate it. It's like you have to barely land. You have to like land. Uh-oh. It's like you have to land the bottom left of your flying ostrich on the rightmost corner past that buffer amount. And then he'll do that little skipping. Oh God. Here, let's try it. Wow. What the heck? How am I supposed to implement that? Oh my God. See, that time he ate my ass and I died. I'm gonna have to watch the replay, see how I killed that guy. He died though. He ate my ass and died. It's too familiar a story. Let me just... See? Okay, one thing I want to check. It's like I want to see if this is possible. Can I get one leg off the back in the original? Because it almost seemed like I couldn't. Because it was just so smooth, like falling off and everything. One thing that's a little baffling to me in the original is how smooth. So when I collide, I've got that little bit of a pixel buffer, but once that collision's detected, I move my X, to be flush with the collidable because we don't want to trigger another collision. See that? So see, it shifts it as soon as that collision's detected, which is good because I did that intentionally, because if I just gave it a different DX, then that very next frame it could still be collided. Well, I guess now we got that buffer. Yeah, part of me thinks when, because the original is so smooth on that, it's like if you collide, it doesn't go from one frame here and then reset you. It just like it bounces and lightly sets you back. So I think under our here, I want to say, like, what happens if we don't reset our X position? We just update our DX. I'm kind of curious if more than one collision will trigger. No. That's a lot more smoother. Yeah, that's a lot more smoother. And then we can still, we can still fall like that. We should be able to. Did you hear that? You heard that, right? That was the multiple collisions going on. Because my DX was so slow. Yeah, my DX is so slow, it detected all those collisions. Yeah. I think it's almost like we need to set it to, we need to say um, set it to the bigger of two values, one of which is our absolute value of our, this is not right. We're in our top collides platform. Okay, we need to be here. We need to say, set it to the, well, let me think. Yeah, if the left collides, we need to set our dx to the smaller, no, the bigger of two values, one of which is 0.2. So I'm basically saying, like, if our dx is super slow, and we're in that buffer zone, the right collide buffer zone, then if our dx is so slow, it's detecting that right collision, it's swapping our dx, so we're getting a very slow to the opposite direction dx, which isn't enough to move it out of the collision, which is why, if it's going super slow, it's collides, resets its, or inverses its dx, and then collides. And that's the other thing, is we don't want to inverse our dx. So this is interesting. This is interesting because I had right here, if right collides, we're inversing our dx, but that's not the right move. So guys, I got a bathroom real quick. So here's the issue. We used to see, and this is why we had this in the first place. We detect a right collision, we reset our X position so that we don't accidentally detect another collision. Sorry, guys. So the idea here is two things. Is like I'm wary to do this here, which is inverse my dx, because if our dx is so slow, we trigger that collision on the right. It'll swap our dx, but our dx is so slow we could still be in that right collides. Our right collides will still be true, at which point it'll swap our dx on the next frame, which will move us in the opposite direction. So that's why I'm kind of thinking that if our if our left collides, we don't want to just... It's good that we have the absolute value of dx here, because we're trying to make our dx positive if a left collide is detected. And that's why I was kind of confused. On our right collides we had swap dx, but then on our left collides we had absolute value, which we should have had something similar, where we're saying we take whatever dx is, well, I was going to say multiply it by -1, but that's exactly what this is. And this was fine when we were doing this, but I just didn't like how bulky it was. Like, you could see it reposition upon that collision. When I was playing the original, it was just so seamless. Like, it lightly bounced. It like lightly bounced back. It didn't detect collision and then jump back and then bounce. It was very smooth. So that's why I'm thinking we don't change our x, but we do make sure our dx is some minimum value that ensures we don't detect a collision twice. But I don't know if that's... Let's just try it. So like our left collides, we need our dx to be positive, but we need it to be we're trying to do the higher of two numbers. One number is 0.2, and this 0.2 is just me coming from... 0.2 is like when I was triggering that multiple collision, all that sound on the left, my dx was about 0.1. So I think it was 0.1. So I'm saying, hey, if your collision's detected, either swap your dx, because if a left collision is detected, our dx is going to be negative. So I'm saying now our dx gets the absolute value of that dx, but if that dx is smaller than 0.2, just give us 0.2, because we're not trying to do a super slow bounce, because we need to give it a little bit of oomph so that it doesn't trigger those multiple collisions. And then here, if our right collides, we would have a positive dx, but we need to say, do we have to do... If we do math.min, it'll return the lower of the two values, one of which is -0.2 and negative self dx. Is that right? So our dx will be positive. Let's say our dx is 0.1. Right collision's detected. Then it's going to say, hey, smaller of the value, -0.1 or -0.2. -0.2 would be the lower value, so it would bounce us -0.2, instead of just swapping our dx by negative, because see, and it's... I'm worried that on one frame we detect the right collision. We give our dx negative 0.2 because we were only at a positive 0.1 dx upon collision. Then on the very next frame, since our dx is already negative, this negative dx will switch our negative 0.2 to positive 0.2. And then it'll just end in that, triggering that right collision sound every single frame. So that's what I'm worried about. But maybe the 0.2 is enough of a buffer. Did you hear it? It collided multiple times. It was better, but it still collided multiple times. Hear that? So what do we do there? I don't know. Like, we've solved problems like this in the past by doing, remember our just stop timer? So like we do if our right collides, then we say, hey, if we've collided in the past couple frames, you can't collide again. So I think we need to do that. For right now, I'm going to make a note of that because I think that's just the way to do it. Just do a just right collided timer or whatever the hell, and say, hey, you know, if we just collided, you can't collide again. So only collide once, change your dx, and then wait for another collision once that threshold has been passed. I think that's just the way. I mean, you know, when I say like there's no a way, there's no the way to do it. There's only possible ways to get to implement it. So it's like, see, look at this. Beware of the unbeatable pterodactyl. I've never killed a pterodactyl until I accidentally did today. I'm gonna write us a note. Uh-oh, here. I'm gonna say, you know, use a timer to ensure one's side collision per half second or something. Because that can also screw us if we have a true, well, okay, shit. I was just thinking that this could bite us in the butt if we, I think it'll be fine. Because I was going to say, if, you know, if I think we'll be fine. I was going to say that it might mess up if we can only do one side collision per half second. Then if we have a same side collision with different platforms, it might not register. But we can just do that when we're cycling through. Like this is just cycling through platforms, but we would need a right collision cycle through all the enemies as well. So we can fix that. So I'm not too worried about that. So we'll take note of that. And we have to also I mean, that's just this. Loop through and check collision. But we need to make sure not to overwrite. Grounded value if check grounded ever gets true. Because it's like it can only ever be grounded on one platform at a time. So if the first platform it's grounded on, we can exit that loop and we don't need to check every platform on that frame. Yeah. 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 Okay. So I guess I'm just yeah. Okay. Well, so the good news is we have oh fuck, that's such bad. Yeah, we need to fix that. The good news is we could be on a platform and we fall off when we walk off. That's great. That's huge. We don't have it cycling through every platform just yet, but at least it's working. So like my check grounded, yeah, my check grounded, I guess I'm just trying to say I'm happy my check grounded logic seems to be working correctly because it's checking to see if it's grounded every frame, and as it's walking, when it doesn't detect a platform beneath the player, it's like, okay, you're falling now. So that's good. And we fixed, for the most part, we fixed that Y problem. Well, let me see. I was gonna say, because remember we were jumping. Yeah, we were jumping multiple times if we were in that buffer zone, but since we implemented the buffer zone on the right collision as well, see, I don't like that. But it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do that mess up where it changes its Y position, but doesn't set us to grounded, because now our bottom collide function is now baked in with that buffer. So now as soon as that bottom collision is detected, we set our grounded to true, which would make our check grounded true, which would mean we stay grounded until there's no ground beneath us. So that's good. We've got at least one function. It's getting a little late. I think I'm gonna call it. But I'm really glad. I was tired. I had three 4th of Julys today, which was really fun. But I was out of the house from 12 till 8 or whatever. But hey, we're in a great position compared to our start position where we were just floating when we jumped. We have a game plan to fix our dx or our x position upon right colliding with that new buffer. We've got a plan for that. And I've got high hopes for that because it seemed like, other than if our DX is too slow, it'll do multiple collisions. It seemed so much better, so much more fluid than our changing our X here, which could be a little jarring. So I think once we implement that just side collided timer, we'll be able to fix those problems. and then we have to worry about cycling through objects, cycling through collidable platforms until we have a collidable platform. Once we do, stop cycling through. Yeah, because we don't want to overwrite anything. Okay. I'm glad. I mean, this was daunting to come back to this after so long, but I'm not going to let that happen again. I mean, I'm hoping my health is going to be better with migraines and stuff, and I'm not going to kill myself over a commitment to do this every day, but I'm going to do my best to do it every day. Because I think I'm committing. I stopped today. Today is going to be the break of my over month-long streak of daily drawing, but I didn't really have an idea today, and I got home and I was like, either it's going to take me who knows how much time to get an idea and draw it and post it, and then I won't get programming done. And I decide that programming is more important to me right now. And I could still draw. I can always still draw, but I gotta be programming. So program first, then draw, if time permits. So I'm glad, because if I drew tonight, I would have just crashed at like 9. Even if I would have even finished by then. But anyway, we got a good game plan. We fixed some stuff. Let's kind of refresh what we did. We added the buffer. We hard-coded the right there. We hard-coded the platforms, like right there. We fixed the DY, and we did the buffer and our collision and stuff too. So I'm just gonna say, gonna add everything to our staging area, get commit with a message. That message is hard-coded platform 1 collision that fixed grounded bug, and then and then I think I'm just gonna say still need to fix cycling through platform collidables. Okay, sweet. Cool, guys. Good progress. Good progress. Alright, guys, I hope you had a good 4th of July. I had a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow.